Hello and welcome to FPL Have a Beer. We're invited to have a beer with me, a beer, while I chat about FPL. Please like the video to help get it out there into the wide echelons of the internet. And please subscribe to help me get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season. So I hope you are all well and are having a good game week thus far. What we're going to do in this one is we are going to have a look at the fixtures so far. Then we're going to have a look at how I've done. Then we're going to have a look at the overall ownership of different players. What can happen? Who can hurt us over the next 48 hours, basically, I guess. Yeah, and then we're going to have a look at the fixtures for tomorrow. So, yes. Please, if you're in the chat, please do say hello and keep me company, basically. It's still only the second solo live stream I've done on the channel, so I appreciate any comments, etc. So we'll start. I will make myself small and the fixtures a bit bigger. So I appreciate any comments, etc. So yeah, we started, of course, last night, and I guess probably the biggest story of the game week so far is the Marmouche captain. Of course, last night, and I guess got a 10-second echo going on. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, Robert. Hopefully, it might. Tell me if it disappears over the next minute or so. It might just be the stream catching up on itself. So yeah, the big, probably the biggest thing so far is the. Okay, I've tried shutting off. Let me just try and shut off the volume on my PC. Is that working now? Hopefully. Let me know in the chat if that's sorted it out. Otherwise, I might have to start again. Hopefully, we'll be okay, though. I think I might have had my own stream playing in the background. Awesome. Thanks, John. Yeah, okay, so we'll have a look. So as I was saying, so the big news, the biggest thing that's happened really so far, I guess, is Marmouche blanking, because he seemed to be the most popular captain. Do let me know you, captain, in the comments. He did seem the most popular captain coming into the game week, but I know a lot of people, I mean, we'll have a look at the effective ownership in a bit, but I know a lot of people seem to switch to Imbermo. I know Steve of Elite FPL has been moaning because he wanted Imbermo as his differential captain. And obviously he was a complete flop, which I have to admit didn't really surprise me because I captained him, was it last week in the double game week? I think I may have captained him twice actually, and he's flopped both times. So I didn't captain him. He was my captain up until, I'm going to say, the morning of the game week, and I was already planning to bring in Burmo in. I mean, I've been planning to bring him in pretty much since last Sunday, but I have to admit I didn't plan on captaining him. And the closer it got to him, to the deadline, I saw that, a lot of people were talking about captaining him. I started thinking about the luck that I've had with Marmouche over the last couple of weeks, and just decided to go against it. Sparta, you're an Isaac captain. Robert's saying Bowen captain. Nice, I like it. Differentials. That could. I mean, I do think a lot of our FPL weeks are going to come down to tomorrow, which we'll have a chat about tomorrow in a bit. But I do think, well, I guess the Man City match has probably been the most meaningful one so far in terms of our ranks, in that Marmouche did nothing and De Bruyne scored a goal, and I was lovely to see that. I don't own De Bruyne, but I do want him to have a good send-off over the next couple of weeks. Let's have a look. What's De Bruyne's ownership, I wonder? De Bruyne's on 20%, so he's got a fair amount of ownership. So that would have been good for anyone who had him. The only player I had from this match was Garvardiol, but to be honest with you, I think most of the game, well, most engaged players have him anyway. But it was still nice to see him come away with 8 points. And then today's matches, I mean, there wasn't really... Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0. I'm not sure... Again, we'll have a look in a while at how well-owned Aston Villa's players are. I do have Martinez, and I was in a big dilemma of whether I should play Martinez or Raya. And I went with Martinez, which, considering Arsenal lost, obviously, to Bournemouth, now looks like a masterstroke. So I was very, very happy with that. And I think he also got, we'll have a look, 3 bonus. He's on 2 bonus. So with the save points, that takes him to 9. So I was very, very happy with that. I also had Rodgers, who I guess just got 3 points. We'll have a look at my team in a minute. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. But I don't really think beyond those two. I mean, Sessegnon had a disallowed goal as well, didn't he? But I think he was quite highly owned last week, but I'm guessing that was just people on free hit. I was quite pleased with my predicted results this week as well. I did my predictions on my stream with Steve-O and Triggerlips the other day, and I think I got them all right. I'm not going to go back and watch, but I'm 99% sure, apart from the Everton one, I got them right. I definitely went for a Man City win and an Aston Villa win. So Everton, I mean, this, I guess, could be quite consequential. Let's have a look. How highly owned are Everton defenders? Well, I heard a few people implying they were highly owned, but Pickford's the only one that's coming up here, and he's only at 10%, so not that highly owned. I mean, when I did a wildcard draft on my stream on Wednesday from FPL Review, they were suggesting having 2 Everton defenders in. But then again, I guess not a lot of people will have pulled the wild card this week either. FPL Sparta John has just become a channel member. Thanks, John. Hi, Ricky. Sean saying he went with Moosh. I wasn't sure on Mbermo for some reason. Arsenal defence is annoying me. Yeah, we'll talk about the Arsenal game in a minute. Yeah, it's annoying me as well. I mean, I didn't start Raya, but I did start Kivior. And I'm guessing a lot... Hi, Noel. I'm guessing a lot of people would have started Saliba, other people, other players as well. Hi, Com. So, yeah, Everton 2-2. I mean, So I'm going through my things here. 2-2. I don't think there's really much to note from that, from an FPL perspective. Leicester 2-0. I did predict this one. I remember this one. I predicted Leicester 2-0 and a double from Vardy. So I'm not quite right. Vardy only got the 1 goal, but I was predicting a Vardy party before the end of the season. Very pleased for him as well after he missed that penalty. Was it last week he missed the penalty? So that was... I guess that went the way we expected, really. And then the big one today, of course, was Arsenal versus Bournemouth. And again, I predicted 2-1 here, and it came true. I had a feeling... I mean, I'm not going to make myself sound overly clever. You know, a lot of people were expecting with Arsenal's... I mean, they didn't rotate as much as we expected, did they? I was surprised that Saka started, but there still was rotation. And Bournemouth, obviously, are an excellent team, particularly an attacking team on their day. And they got the job done. I hear, you can tell me in the chat, I haven't actually seen the goals to this one yet. I hear, how do I pronounce his name? It's on my bloody thumbnail, but I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Evan Nilsson, his goal was quite controversial, apparently. I'm not 100% sure why. But I mean, if you decided to, because he was going to be banned for this game, wasn't he? So if anyone kept hold of him, I think Let's Talk FPL Andy might have him on his bench. So yeah, if people kept hold of him because his ban was overturned, he's got a goal and 3 bonus points as well. So what would that be? 6, 8, 9 or 10 points. So a very nice return for him. Semedo as well probably has some ownership out there on an assist. So yeah, I mean, I do hope Arsenal finish second. I think they deserve to finish second. You know, I hope if they do go out of the Champions League, you know, that they don't well, first of all, I hope they do go through in the Champions League because we always support Premier League teams. And Sparta saying he scored with his elbow. Yeah, that's what I heard, mate. Should it have been disallowed? Ricky saying I was sure Fulham would score, so I benched Konza. Now I've got Raya and Kivia to play, and I've got zero faith in a clean sheet. Yeah, they've already played, Ricky. Raya and Kivia will play today, and lost against Bournemouth. Yeah, so I guess the sort of results sort of went well. Certainly they went in the way I predicted, to show off a bit. We'll get on to tomorrow's sixes in a minute. But yeah, I do think, aside from the Marmoush, Man City blank, and I guess the Arsenal result, I think most of these matches are relatively insignificant for FPL. I think the big ones really are going to be tomorrow and Monday night. But we'll get on to them in a bit. So we'll have a look at my team so far this game week. I've not had many players play. So I've got my Martinez there with a lovely 9 points, which, considering Raya only got one, was actually, for once this season, actually the right call in terms of who to bench. Kivia with a disappointing 1. Kilman at home to Tottenham tomorrow. I'm not expecting really anything from him. He's just in there because my alternatives were Livramento away to Brighton, who I'm sure is going to concede, and Meswawi against Brentford, who I'm sure is going to concede. Sarr and Eze. So I predicted in my stream with Steve-O and Triggerlips earlier in the week, I predicted a Crystal Palace win. So I'm quite happy to have them in. I mean, I'm not going to say, that I'm massively confident, but I do think with the form Nottingham Forest have been on, with, the downheartedness they must be feeling having gone out of the FA Cup final, I do suspect Crystal Palace at least to score there and hopefully get a result. Then we've got Salah. I wonder how many people captain Salah this week. We'll have a look at the ownerships in a minute. Away to Chelsea. Anyone in the chat captained him? I just didn't fancy him. I don't know. He's not been pulling up trees, has he, for 8 or 9 weeks now? I mean, there was a couple of penalties in there, the odd assists. Hi, FPL Cortex. But there's not been a lot. So I certainly, away to Chelsea, I didn't want to stick my captain on him. But happy enough to have him in there. I'm guessing his ownership is, we'll have a look in a minute as I say, but I'm sure his ownership is going to be over 100% because it usually is, even if he's not that highly captained in the community, he usually ends up being over 100% for some reason anyway. Then in Burmo, I'm not going to say last minute captain, but another Cortex's captain Bowen. Yeah, a few people are saying they're captain Bowen. That's a bold decision there, FPL Cortex. So yeah, and Burmo, which, a lot is going to ride on how he does tomorrow. Well, I guess if people have captained Isaac and Bowen as well, like people are saying in the chat, I guess the Marmoush guys have obviously lost out. I mean, yeah, it's going to be Salah, Burmo, Isaac and Bowen. So there's going to be a lot riding on how those guys do tomorrow, isn't there? And then I've got Isaac up top with Combs saying he captained Salah. I think Roberto did as well. And then Marmoush, who blanked, but considering he was captained by a lot of people. Hi, Chris. I'm perfectly happy with that. So I'm on, I've still got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players to play, including my captain. Got a couple of returns from Gavardio and Martinez. Particularly the Martinez one's quite nice because a lot of people own him. So yeah, I'm quite happy so far. It's, as I say, it's really going to come down, I think, it's going to come down to tomorrow, isn't it? And Monday night. So let's have a look at live rank. Oh, actually, well, I'll have a quick look at my overall rank. It's not changed that much. I think I was on about 190,000. I'm up to 180,000, so small green arrow. I mean, to be honest, I want to get into the top 100,000. If I'm not in the top 100,000, I don't really care where I am between 100,000 and 200,000. It's all about getting into the top 100,000. And I have made a small chip away, at least today, at that goal. So let's have a look at who the danger people are. I mean, for me anyway, but I guess probably for a lot of you as well. So Salah is... I don't want Salah to do well tomorrow, from my perspective, because, well, his effective ownership isn't as high as it has been. I've looked at it a couple of times recently. It's been up to like 150, 160, 170%. It's only 115%, but it will still damage me if he scores, and I guess it will damage anyone who's not captained him if he does anything tomorrow. And Burmo's at 125% in the top 10k, at 102% around my rank. So if he does well for me tomorrow, that would be bloody awesome, because I'll effectively have double. Well, I will have double points because he's effectively not been captained by half of the people around my rank. Eze would be nice for me to do well tomorrow as well. He's down at just 15% around my rank, and Sar's down at 25%. Beyond those two, and in Burmo, I mean, so Isaac's up at 105, 107. So the captaincy really is split this week. I mean, I think this might be one of the biggest splits I've ever seen, to be honest with you. So we've got in Burmo. So I define, someone is going to have been captained by quite a few people if they're over 100% ownership. So we've got in Burmo, Salah, Isaac, Marmoush. So let's have a look down at the players I don't own and see Bowen. Is he over 100% as well? Oh, well, Bowen's only 35%. So Bowen is the real differential captain then, because, I mean, that's massively different. So the captain is really split over those three players, Marmoush, Burmo, Salah, and Isaac. So you Bowen captains, if he does well tomorrow, just 35% ownership, that's going to be huge. So the other players that can... FPL Cortex saying, sorry, but I'm hoping for 0-0, Palace versus Forest. I own Henderson, Munoz, and Neco Williams. Well, yeah, I can't see it being a 0-0. I can't see it being a 0-0. I just think Palace score, and probably Forest as well, to be honest. I think it's more likely that... I don't know what you guys think of the show. I think it's more likely that Forest blank than Crystal Palace, but I can see them both scoring. Cortex saying next week's going to be a split as well. KDB, Marmoush, if they start in Burmo and Vissa. Who have Man City got next week? I mean, mine provisionally is on in Burmo because I know they've got Ipswich, don't they? Ipswich. So in terms of the people that can sort of threaten us that haven't played yet, I mean, the goalkeeper, Sells and Henderson, they're both sort of 10% or below, so not really worried about them. Munoz, he's got the grey skull there. I don't know what the difference is between a grey skull and a red devil face. Did it tell me somewhere? I guess a white skull must be worse because his ownership's high. So he's at 51%. So he's hurt me a few times this season. So he's dangerous. Can't really ever see any other defenders there. Bowen is dangerous for me. 35% ownership. Jacob Murphy, his effective ownership is still high. Obviously still owned from a lot of teams after the double game weeks and stuff where he did very well. He's on 40%. Salah, even though I own him, is a risk to my rank because I haven't captained him. So he's at 19% ownership when you take out the fact that I own him. So he's 119% ownership. Cunha is at 15. That's quite high. I know a lot of people bought him in from the wild card, the free hit last week, but I wasn't expecting many people to actually still own him. Mateta, who I've benched, at 44%. So that could really come back to haunt me if he does well. And then we've got Visser and Wood, sort of about 15%. So I guess for the majority of people, if you don't own them or you've benched them, the real threats tomorrow are Mateta, Bowen, Murphy, and Munoz. If you don't own them or you haven't started them, So I mean, considering I've got quite a few of my own attacks out there, attacking players in terms of they're not too highly owned, Sarr, Eze, and Burmo, I'm hoping I can counteract that. And to be honest, if Salah or Isaac do anything, I mean, it will hurt me in terms of their effective ownership is high enough that I'm not going to gain points from them, but it's not so high that I'm going to lose that much. 119% and 107%. I'm going to lose a bit of ground, but not much. It's really Bowen, Munoz, Murphy, and Mateta are the ones that I fear. Let's just have a quick look in the chat. Next week it's going to be a split. Yeah, we just read that one. Who's the best differential next week in your eyes? 10% or less. Visser interest in effective ownership. I've got Evan Nilsson on my bench. Oh dear. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure FPL. Let's Talk FPL. Andy benched him because he was away. I might be wrong on that, but I'm fairly sure he did because I know he didn't sell him because he bought in Burmo in, didn't he? So I think a lot of people would have benched him this week. I mean, a lot of people would have sold him. If they weren't patient enough to wait to see if the yellow card turned round. I mean, let's have a look. How do I find effective ownerships? We can have a look here, can't we? Transfers. We'll have a look at the forwards and midfielders because they're always the most interesting ones, aren't they? And we'll go to teams selected by Alanga. Someone said in the chat, yeah, Alanga's a good shout. I think he's at 8.3%. Matoma, maybe. I know he's not always keeping his place at the minute, is he? What's his fixtures like? Oh no, actually, Newcastle. Well, sorry, in the last 3 games he's got Liverpool. Well, actually, no, he's got Wolves away and Spurs away. They're quite good fixtures. Liverpool, considering they won the title, and we might be on the beat. We'll know more on that tomorrow after we see what they do against Chelsea. I quite like Matoma. Put your differentials in the chat. Trossard, again, maybe he's down at 6.8%. What about the forwards? Danny Welbeck, maybe. Same fixtures as Matoma. Assuming that João Pedro's going to... Oh, he's suspended till May the 19th. When's that? Is that the next game week? Oh, he's suspended for 2 game weeks. So maybe Welbeck. Vardy. Although one of the 2 nice fixtures he has is obviously gone today. He's got Ipswich at home in game week 37. So yeah, I'd fancy them as differentials, but there's nothing really jumping out here at me as you need to own them. Gibbs White, yes, come. I will say it. Yeah. So me and Steve-O's coming down to Leighton where I live tomorrow. I think we're meeting at 1, and we are going to go to a graveyard where Steve-O, this is Elite FPL, and we are going to give our predictions of who's going to win. And then Steve-O takes this very seriously. He's told me I have to switch the internet off my phone. I'm not allowed to look at it, touch it, do anything with it. And we're going to go off and do God knows what for 4 or 5 hours. Not look at the football. And then I guess shortly before he gets the train back to the other side of London, because he lives on the other side of London to me, About 6:30, we're going to do a reaction stream. Exactly how we're going to do that, I don't know, because I don't film videos on my phone. It's sort of all that's with all of that's going to be done by Steve-O. So yeah, that won't be on my channel. That will be coming out on Elite FPL. But very much looking forward to it. Second or third time I met Steve-O in person. I had a really good time last time, so that would be good. And it will be good. I think it will be my first match of the day type challenge. I mean, obviously I've done them in real life. You know, I've got home not knowing any of the scores and looked and and found out all the scores in one go. But I don't think I've ever done it on film, so it should be interesting. Gibbs White. You've got a thing for Gibbs White, Cortex. What's his ownership? I mean, he's done well in spells. I don't like Gibbs White because whenever I've owned him this season, he's flopped for me. So he's 5.9%. Yeah, he's definitely a differential, but every time I've owned him this season, he hasn't done it for me. I think there were 2 or 3 times. I think the first time is when we thought he was on penalties. It's probably quite early in the season, and they got a penalty, and then bloody Chris Wood took it. So he's no friend of mine. Put it that way. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a quick look. So as I said earlier, my goal is always to get in the top 100k. This time last week, I was about 35 points off the top 100k. I've cut it down to 28 points. So literally every single week I have at the minute. I had a terrible start to the season for anyone who doesn't watch my channel regularly. Every single week is my highest rank of the season. So 128, 170, 180k, whatever rank I'm at the minute is my highest rank of the season. And I'm hoping, particularly if Imbermo goes off tomorrow and, you know, some of those other Bowen and Manoz, etc., stay quiet over the weekend, maybe that will be down to 10, 15 points by the end of the game week, you know, and then I really would have a chance. I would realistically feel I have a chance of maybe getting in that top 100k by the end of the season. So let's have a look at tomorrow's fixtures. Let me know what scores you think will be in the chat. So for me, the big one is Brentford versus Man United with Mbermo as my captain. I mean, there's a lot of people saying, did Man United won, was it 3-0 in the midweek? So a lot of people are saying maybe they won't play such a lot of people were predicting they were going to play basically a second team. Let's have a look at FF Scout. Let's see what Neil's thought was they were going to play. But to be honest with you, does it really matter? I mean, their defence has been useless all season, even when they have their first team out. So, yeah, this is quite a weakened defence. Shaw is a centre-back. Lindelof, he didn't play much recently, has he? Delict, some guys in midfield that I've never heard of. Amas? Who's Amas? Camerson? Kone? I don't know who these players are. Obi Martin? Didn't there used to be a player called Obi Fenny Martins who used to play, God, we're going back about 20 years ago. Is that his son or something? Or is he like a regen? A good championship manager. So we'll have to see about that. But I expect them to do well. I think I said in my prediction 2-0 in my live stream during the week. By the way, I do a live stream with other people during the week. I'll plug it again at the end. But this week, I'm very, very excited. On Wednesday, I'm hoping to have Steve-O and Trigger Lips, who joined me last week, and I'm also hoping to have Andrew FPL Nightmare join me as well for a Gameweek 36 preview, and that should be at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night. We're trying to basically fit it in before Black Box So we sort of catch people before the black box comes on. So let's have a quick look at the chat, see what you guys are predicting. Brentford 2-0, Combe says. Cortex says 3-1 to Brentford. Is that what it's supposed to say, Ricky? Was that a misspelling? Was it supposed to be Ahmad on FPL Scout? Brentford 3, Man United 1. Man United focusing on Europa League. Yeah, that's exactly what I went. Combe randomly writing Palmer. Palmer. That's the way that all Australians and New Zealand people say Palmer. I interviewed FPL D Unit last night for my interview series. I recommend going out and checking out his stuff. He's a very lively Aussie bloke, and I'm actually going to do my first live stream with him next Saturday morning on his channel. Anyway, so Brighton Newcastle. What do you guys think for this one? I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I obviously want Newcastle to win. I mean, Brighton usually score. They're quite a good team at home. Newcastle are, strong pretty much wherever they play. I'm going to go 2-2 here. I think I might have predicted a Newcastle win in the stream, but I think I'm going to go for 2-2 draw. How am I doing in minor mini leagues? Paul Hustler says. I have absolutely no idea, Paul Hustler, because I'm a sad person who only really looks at my overall rank, and unfortunately I'm not really in any mini leagues I care about. But I'll have a quick look. I am... So the only real mini leagues in that I'm in are this one, which is my old work mini league. I don't work here anymore. Where I'm third, which is, it's got about 30 people in it. I think I've won that mini league every season since it existed. I think it's been on for 4 years, and I think I've won it every time. So I'll be a bit disappointed if I don't win that. And then the Elite, I guess this is Elite FPL Members League. Elite FPL, I've got so many different leagues. I can't keep up with which one is which. But apparently I'm 13th in that one. They've got a Patreon league and God knows how many leagues. So yeah, I'm not overly concerned with my... I used to be in work leagues. I think last year I was in a league with 10 people at my current work. But I thrashed all of them because, I finished 3K last season, was good, but just none of them really played properly. The most of them gave up halfway through. So, yeah. Cortex, you'd be more than welcome, mate. You'd be more than welcome. You can sort out a camera. I'm basically my live streams. I'm trying to do one every Saturday, at least to the end of the season, just by myself, because last week was my first live stream that I did by myself, and I really enjoyed it. And then trying to do one in the week. Hopefully next season it will be at a fixed time. And basically getting people on, because I do enjoy live streaming by myself, but to have a proper preview, I think you need to have a few people on. So I've had Yelena on so far, FPL Tom. I've had loads of people on, but my sort of general guess is Steve-O on Trigger Lips, or a combination of one of the two, and who knows what will happen next season. Anyway, so Combe saying 2-1 Newcastle. Niall agrees, 2-1 to Newcastle. FPL Sparta says 3-1. Are you captaining Isaac, John? Is that... your name is John, isn't it, Sparta? That might... No, I've never done a deadline stream before, Quarter. He just wanted to do one with someone. I think he usually does one with one of his mates, because he's in Australia. And I think the deadline's at 1:30 tomorrow next week. So I just said... I'm all for getting experience doing stuff, so I don't think I'll ever do them on here, but I was more than happy to join him. Nice one, John. I was more than happy to join him doing one. So then, go back to scores. Predictions, West Ham versus Spurs. So this is another one where people are predicting mass rotation. Let's see who they've got. Let's see who Neil. Neil's usually pretty good. Wow. Well, this is a pretty weak team, isn't it? Vicario, Archie Gray at right back. I didn't even know he could play right back. Danso, Davis, Spence. I mean, that's quite a weak team, isn't it? I mean, West Ham haven't been playing amazingly, but I've got to fancy a West Ham victory if Spurs are playing quite a weakened team like this. And, they've got Maddison. I didn't realise that. Doubts Maddison, Solanke and Son. So that's probably why their attack's quite weak. I would go for 2-0 here, maybe. Chelsea versus Liverpool. So I predicted Combs going for West Ham 2-1. I predicted a Chelsea win on my live stream this week, and I'm not going to differentiate from that. I said also, I think I said in my last 3 weeks predictions, Palmer, this is going to be Palmer's comeback week where he gets 2 goals. So if I keep saying it every single week, maybe at some point I will look great and everyone else will forget that I've said it every single week and I will look like a genius. That's my plan anyway. D-Unit is very lively, Christian, yeah. I haven't seen him drunk. He did tell me he was used to drink a bottle of vodka during the live stream or something like that. Even I haven't done that, and I've got through 4 or 5 beers. I get through 4 or 5 beers quite semi-regularly in live streams, especially if they go on for like 2.5 hours. Like some of the ones do, which I do with other people. He says opening the beer. So 2-0, says Ricky. 4-2. 2-0 to Liverpool, that is. 4-2 to Liverpool, Combs says. All right, I'm going to stick. I've got to stick by my guns. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea. I do think Liverpool may have a bit of a hangover. They haven't really got anything to play for now. I think, last week, that thrashing of Spurs, maybe, that won them the league. They haven't really, that was sort of the celebration moment. I guess maybe the last day of the season when they're sort of parading it around, that might give them a bit of a motivation. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea here. And then the final game, which may be one of the more meaningful ones for this week, particularly for me, if you own Crystal Palace players. Although I know a lot of people have got Nottingham Forest players as well, particularly people who perhaps didn't free hit last week. Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. So again, I've got to stick to my guns with this one. I think I said 2-1 in my preview during the week. Haven't really got any reason to change that. It's basically the guys who are through to the FA Cup final and are going to be absolutely buzzing. Literally, the FA Cup is all they've got to worry about. They haven't got to worry about. There's no pressure on them in the league. Versus Forest, who have got that disappointment. They've been on terrible form as it is, and they have got the pressure of trying to secure that Champions League place. And I just think that mixture of different variables will result in a Crystal Palace win. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw or Forest win. But, that's sort of my prediction for that. Cortex is saying, have a guess on which country consumes the most beer. Just seen it on YouTube. You mean per person? If it's per person, I will say probably... Czech Republic. Oh, okay. I was going to say Russia, because I know... I've lived with some Russian people, and they stuck away the vodka a lot. Also, Polish people. I've lived with a couple of Polish people. They stuck away a lot of beer. I mean, not that England or Ireland would probably be that far behind them. Where's England, Cortex? Salah doesn't drink. He's Muslim, isn't he? Crystal Palace 2, Forest 2. Niall says should be goals. Yep, could be. Okay. So someone complained at me in the last one. Well, suggested that I should also. I mean, obviously this is a very, 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 very preliminary look at my team. I'll go over it in more detail on my live stream with Andrew and FPL Nightmare and Steve, etc. on Wednesday. But this is my bus team. I've got Martinez in goal. I mean, my goalkeepers this week are playing away to Bournemouth and away to Liverpool. Ray's away to Liverpool, so it's not a great choice. I've just gone with the best of two bad options in Martinez. My defence is absolutely horrendous, apart from Gavardio, who's away to Southampton. I've got Liverpool at Memento at home to Chelsea and Missouri away to West Ham. But when you look at the two defenders I benched, Kivior away to Liverpool and Kilman away to Man United. So I'm really struggling. I mean, if this was earlier in the season, I would be tempted to start making some defensive transfers. Because considering we've only got 3 weeks left, I don't want to be wasting transfers on messing around with these defenders, really. Then I've got Sarr and Eze away to Tottenham and Mateta. I guess a lot of how that match will go will depend on how Spurs... Well, I guess Spurs might be tired. When is that match? Next game week. It's on Sunday, so I guess there's a possibility Spurs will be tired from the second leg. I'm assuming, you guys can tell me, are the second legs this week? I'm assuming they're this week. I guess they could, in theory, be the following week. Hi, Trig. We're doing the graveyard walk tomorrow, mate. We're doing a graveyard walk tomorrow. Hi, Shagir. What was I talking about? I've completely lost my train of thought. Can anyone remind me in the chat what the hell I was talking about then? I've completely and utterly forgotten what I was talking about. Liverpool, Arsenal. Oh yeah, my transfers, that was it. Yeah, so Crystal Palace, they could do all right if Chelsea are knackered. Salah at home to Arsenal. I fancy Liverpool want to make a statement there. I reckon that may be one of Liverpool's last, times that they've really got to... they're really going to want to show themselves as the true champions. I mean, I know they're the true champions anyway. I mean, they've won this. They've won the title with three or four games to go. But I think they'll want to assert their dominance over Arsenal. Should we put it like that? Then in Burmo as captain, Salah's my voice away to Ipswich. Nick, I'll ask you this now. Steve-O wants to know why we both switched our captains to Mbermo. I think he thinks we're both copying him. I'm going to say to him tomorrow, if we did copy him, which I didn't. If I did copy someone, it wasn't Steve-O, but he should think that what he's doing, he's setting a fashion. He's setting the fashion. It's not copying. He's setting the trend. Gary, there is a content creator I believe is under the radar. It would be great to interview. I'll tell you maybe in a DM. Yes, do please, Ricky. Yeah, I'm not actually the interview series is probably now gonna be on hold until the end of the season. Basically, because I've already done 3 interviews that are coming out with Mira, FPL Fran, and then D Unit, and that will basically take me up to the end of the season. But certainly next season, I'm going to keep it going again. So. Yes, exactly. That's right. So Trigger's saying he's captained in Burmo because of the news about United rotating and him being the most captain. Exactly. That's why I captained him as well. It is not Steve-O, if you watch this at some point before I meet you tomorrow, that we're all copying you. And then I've also got Isaac at home to Chelsea. Maybe I should switch my voice to Isaac. I'll think about it later. And then Mamouche at home to Southampton. I mean, that could be potentially risky with Haaland. I mean, besides the fact he's been shit. He's been shit pretty much since I bought him in anyway. With Haaland back in now, I guess there is a risk that he might not start. But I can't really see him not starting. I think Haaland will probably need another week before he starts. See him maybe coming on for Marmouche. So very, very early on. I mean, I might try and get rid of Marmouche, but it's so difficult when he's away to Southampton or Mateta. So I'm not quite so loaded up on Crystal Palace, and maybe bring in a Chris Wood. I think Chris Wood or Evan Nilsson. They've both got one of those plum fixtures. I'm trying to remember who they are. So Evan Nilsson has got. When is it? Next week, Nottingham Forest have got Leicester, and Bournemouth have got Aston Villa. But Bournemouth do have a really plum fixture somewhere. It might be the last day. Yes, they're home against Leicester on the last day. So bringing him in might be quite nice. And I don't see the point in saving transfers. I've got no clips left by the way, for anyone who doesn't watch the channel regularly. I have only got one free transfer, so if I can see a move which is going to benefit the team, I'm going to make it, basically. There's no point really hanging on now, I don't think. So let's have a quick look at the chat. Switch your voice to whoever Steve accuses. Nick says, well, we haven't seen the game yet, mate. If Mbermo blanks tomorrow, then everyone do say that Steve-O convinced you and send him a load of... I'm only joking, of course. Saying, we copied you, Steve-O. We went by your great knowledge and he blanked. You the bastard. Chris Wood for Leicester. That's what I'm thinking, Trig. Colm saying, I picked Salah because he basically has scored the most goals against the opposition than all the captain choices we're facing. Yeah, I mean, he could go B against Arsenal. I mean, particularly if they go out against PSG. I mean, the season then is pretty much another write-off, isn't it, for them? I mean, another season where they've done very well. You know, if they get second in the league, it's still good. And you know, the semi-finals of the Champions League, but it's another season where they haven't won anything. So, you know, if they do lose that, it could be, you know, it's not going to be great preparation for playing against Liverpool. Shakir says, I need Salah, Isaac, and Bumo blanks. Went up 35 to 20k so far. Expect to fall. That's pretty good, mate. I didn't realise you were that high in the rankings. Yeah, we had a look at the. Let's have a quick look again before we finish. Had a look earlier. I don't know if you've looked at this, Trig. I reckon this is the most balanced out, almost spread captaincy so far this season. So we've got Isaac on about 100, just over 100%, 105, 106. Marmoush at a similar number. Salah on about 115. And Burmo, depending on where you is, depending on whether you look at the top 10k or where I'm ranked, it's between 120 and 102. So let's say, I don't know, 112 if we split the difference. So that's basically 4 guys on pretty much, I'm imagining, an even amount of captainers. And as we've seen in the chat, there are people that have captained Bowen. There's people that have captained other differentials as well. So I think this is going to be the biggest split. And also, you know, potentially makes tomorrow very interesting. I mean, it could be, knowing that, it will probably now be the case that they all blank or they all get exactly the same number of points. We'll have to see. Yeah, same Cortex. So most of my players play tomorrow. Combs says, I think Haaland gets minutes next game week. He'll want to give minutes. Yeah, did he get any minutes? Did he get any minutes this week? I didn't have a look. Did he come off the bench against Arsenal or whoever they were playing yesterday? Wolves? Or was he just sitting on the bench? Where is he? Haaland. So he got no minutes yesterday. So yeah, I think yes, Colm. I think he'll come off the bench against Southampton. Maybe try and get 20, 30 minutes into his legs before the FA Cup final. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd even want to throw him in for the FA Cup final. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes on as a substitute in the FA Cup final as well. I mean, it's a big game to start your first match after, a month or two out. I mean, someone asked in the stream I did with Trig and Steve-O during the week, what was our Haaland plan, and I basically just don't have one. I don't see why at the minute I would want to. I mean, it's not as if he was even doing great when he was before he was injured. People captain O'Brien and triple captain Rodgers. Yeah, I saw on Steve-O's video, didn't he say? I don't think it was Alex Vollo who actually did it, but one of Alex Vollo's followers on Twitter triple captained O'Brien. I mean, that's just. I know Alex Vollo makes some strange, bold captain decisions, should I say, but triple captain and O'Brien, that's just completely insane. Cortex, which PFP is your favourite between mine and Combs? What does PFP mean, mate? I don't know what that means. Okay. Yes. So I'm trying to not make these live streams too long. The solo ones, I mean. If you watch the ones with me, I think the one with me, Trigger, and Steve-O went on for about 2.5 hours the other night. But I'm trying to keep the ones that I do by myself short and sweet. So, I'll just plug again. So, I'll be out with, unless anyone has anything to say in the chat. I can't really see you, to be honest with you, Cortex. Between you and Comb. Yours looks like a weird mask thing to me from here. I'm going to say yours, Cortex, because looks like you've got a weird gimp mask on. I've got no idea if you actually have. It's such a bit far away distance. So I'll just plug again. So I'm going out with a walk with Steve-O of Elite FPL tomorrow. And we're going to film it'll be one video, but when it comes out, but basically our predictions, and then we're going and spending 5 or 6 hours not looking at the football, and then we're having a look at the scores together and making another video. So basically like a match of the day type video. And my next live stream, so I'll be doing hopefully solo live streams for the next couple of Saturdays. So please join me next Saturday, probably be around the same time. And my next other live stream will be with Steve-O, Triggerlips, and hopefully FPL Nightmare at Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So please subscribe to keep up to date. Please check out Elite FPL as well, which is where that other video will be coming on tomorrow. Everyone knows he's a Kim already. Oh, Gary. Yes, good luck everyone with Gameweek 32, and you'll see how I got on Elite FPL if you check that out tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Have a good evening.